It tore me apart. But I learned an important lesson. You can't count on anyone, especially your heroes.
There are plenty of deadly diseases out there nowadays, but I'd like to think that one of the deadliest and most widespread ones is the clout disease. People treat this stuff like heroin or cocaine, fiending for their next dose of it, and are willing to do whatever it takes to get it. I'm not saying that that is for sure the cause of our video topic today, but in all honesty, that is the most logical explanation for me personally. So if you're unaware of all the drama concerning MrBeast that has been going on lately, let me just summarize what is happening. There's this content creator by the name of Rosanna Pasino who has over 14.5 million subscribers on YouTube, and she was a participant of a Creator Games video that MrBeast did, where he had all these big name influencers come together and participate in these party games. Anyways, Pasino was in the third Creator Games, which was a game of hide and go seek in a huge football stadium, and recently just came out about her feelings towards the whole thing. Before I say anything else, let me just inform everyone in the audience here that this MrBeast video she was in is over 2 years old at this point, so she has been sitting on this tragic information for the last 2 years. So Rosanna got third place in the games. She was one of the last contestants found in the hide and go seek game, and was super excited to see the final product of the video when it was finally uploaded to YouTube. But apparently, when the actual video came out, and guys, it shocks me to say this, like I'm tearing up a little bit. It's just so disturbing that I'm not even sure I can say it without this video getting age restricted. It is with a most heavy heart that I regret to inform you that Rosanna's third place standing in the games was heavily downplayed through the way MrBeast's team edited the video. Yeah. That's pretty much it. She makes the claim that MrBeast basically edited her out of the video because he is possibly sexist, and she was too mentally traumatized to speak out about it before, but now she all of a sudden, after this incident taking place 2 years ago, has the courage to speak up about her story. Okay, bro, this is so laughable. Like, come on, dude. How is this the most disturbing thing that has ever happened to you? The internet loves clout and drama so much that a millionaire getting edited out of a MrBeast video is really the hottest topic online right now. I could honestly not care less, really. Like, honestly, I would normally not be making a video on this topic, but first of all, the reason why I'm even talking about this thing is that I find the whole controversy, petty and idiotic, and the way Rosanna has been going about quote-unquote exposing MrBeast and sharing her experience is just way over the top and melodramatic. So let's take a look at some of her tweets here. Thank you for making me feel not alone. This has all been overwhelming and a lot to process today. I was scared to tell my story for a long time because of how much hate others have gotten in the past for speaking up about their own experiences. In the hours since posting my story, I have received at least 3 messages from female creators who have had similar experiences with MrBeast and those around him. That will be their story to tell if they choose to, but it is making me realize that I am not as alone as I once thought I was. Also, unbeknownst to me, Quackity also told the same story previously on a live stream. He was also confused as to why they edited him out of the top 3. Thank you all for the immense support. Words cannot describe how empowering and healing the last 24 hours have been. Bro, remember in Ratatouille when the food critic guy came to Gusteau's restaurant and ordered perspective from the waiter, and the waiter was super confused? Dude, I feel like that guy right now, cause just like he said, I'll provide the perspective. If you edit out the context of this tweet, it legit sounds like this lady Rosanna got SA'd by MrBeast or something crazy like that, and that's not by accident. She's using very similar language that people use when they come out about R-word stories or things of that nature. Phrases like not feeling alone, overwhelming, other women speaking to me about their experiences with him, sharing my story, empowering and healing after I spoke out. Like, bro, if there was no context to this, I would 100% assume that this was about an R-word story, and I think that's really what a lot of people are mad about here. Not necessarily that you don't have a legit reason to be mad, but how severe you are making this seem. Like, it has apparently been traumatizing you for the last 2 years? Come on, bro. I'm going to speak more about this at the end of the video, so stick around for that. But for now, let's finish breaking down this tweet. She clearly insinuates that she feels like it was a sexist thing for MrBeast to edit her out of the video, highlighting that other female creators have shared stories about working with him, which is a pretty strong accusation to levy on someone. But then she contradicts her own point by pointing out that Quackity, a male YouTuber, was also cut in the same way from the same video. So Rosanna, even you can see and attest to this not just being an issue with female guests on MrBeast videos. Something that a lot of commentary YouTubers have been quick to point out is the fact that MrBeast probably just edited her out for retention rates and to like keep people watching the video for longer because she wasn't one of the more famous people in the event. And don't get me wrong, like that's still kind of messed up if he did that, but it should be nowhere near this like consequential in Rosanna's life here to the point where she's like having mental stress for years about this. Let's take a look at another tweet here. I've been allowing others to treat me poorly in private for many years, and I'm fed up. I'm going to start standing up for myself and finding my voice. And below that, she has a summary of basically the context of what happened with the Creator Games incident. There is no way that this can just be in reference to MrBeast, bro. She's talking about people mistreating her for many years, and to my knowledge, this whole thing only happened like 2 years ago. So it almost seems like she's kind of either just blowing this thing out of proportion, which she totally is, or she's just blaming MrBeast for the way other people have mistreated her, since he is the only one she mentions in this story here. Again, the speaking out phrase seems a little dramatic, especially considering that this wasn't about some kind of major crime or horrible human abuse, but was simply about being edited out of a hide-and-go-seek YouTube video. I cannot stress this enough. Lastly, Rosanna leaked her private DMs with MrBeast, so I wanted to quickly take a look at that and discuss it a bit. It starts with MrBeast trying to set up a call and figure out what her complaint is exactly, and then Rosanna sends this intro paragraph to her new persuasive argument essay, basically saying that she didn't speak up to be malicious, she was hurt by his decision to edit her out because it made her look like she sucked at hide-and-go-seek, and how staying silent about, once again, being edited out of a YouTube video has caused her mental stress and anguish for years, and talking about how this incident is messing with her mental health. MrBeast responds, honestly pretty relaxed, and seems to want to figure out what's wrong. Again, tries to set up a call, but Rosanna doesn't even acknowledge it. She instead accuses him of lying, demanding to know why he said Logan was found literally 1 minute before Zach, and how her getting third place in the games gave her confidence that she never had before somehow. Like, I don't know how getting third place in a hide-and-go-seek like YouTube video just gives you this like swell of confidence that you've never felt before. Like, I don't know, bro. It kind of seems like you're blowing this hide-and-go-seek game out of proportion to me. Anyways, MrBeast again tries to set up a call to resolve things, and again, she basically declines and wants to review all the raw footage, I guess to like prove to the world that she actually got third place in the Creator Games from 2 years ago, since obviously everyone still thoroughly cares about that. Now, if you're confused as to why she didn't want to set up a call, she explains on a podcast with H3H3 that it was because she didn't want him to slip up and say something, but because it wasn't on text, then she couldn't have that against him, basically just saying that he wanted to leave no trail of their conversation behind. And I will admit, that is a tactic that like big companies and people like MrBeast or like huge celebrities or people who have a reputation to uphold in public, they kind of use calling people instead of texting people for that exact reason. Because if they do somehow slip up, then it's not screenshotable like a text. But I just think that this is obviously something that MrBeast's team has advised them to do. A content creator of his size has to run responses to things like this by PR people and teams who make sure he doesn't say or do anything that could put his brand at risk. So if they are telling him he needs to settle this by phone call, just in case Rosanna tries to take his replies and twist them into some kind of controversy, then that's obviously what he's going to do. Rosanna said she made the mistake of talking on the phone to hash things out before, and she doesn't want to make that mistake again, which I understand, so be it, like, you do you, bro, that's totally fine. But MrBeast doesn't have to agree to your terms of text communications either. So overall, what do I think about this situation? Let me start off by saying something that perhaps most people don't agree with. I actually think that Rosanna has some right to be upset about what happened here, and I think it's reasonable of her to voice her frustrations within a certain extent, because at the end of the day, if MrBeast really did edit her out of a video and not show how successful she had been at the game, then that's kind of messed up, and if I were in her position, I would be mad too. Now, with that being said, here's why I don't side with her on this situation. First of all, she has taken way too long to come out about this, and second of all, she is way overhyping how devastating and traumatic and evil this whole thing is. In regards to my first point, let me share a little relatable story here. When I was in 2nd grade, I was going to the bathroom, and back then you had to do the buddy system, so there was this other kid named Josh who was in there with me. Now, little thing about Josh here, he was a bit of a troublemaker back in the day. So while I was using the restroom, Josh peeked under my stall, and he got a good look at my rear end, right, my tush, okay? And I was super upset, and I felt mad and worried at the same time, but I didn't say anything about it to the teacher, and a few months passed by, and one day when Josh wasn't at school, then I went up to the teacher and told her about it. Do you know what she said? Why didn't I tell her when it happened? That was a few months ago. What can she really do about it now? In the same way, if you really felt slighted by this, why did you not come out about it way earlier when the video was uploaded? Were you really too scared for 2 years to talk about how you got edited out of a video? I guarantee you that no one has thought about that video in over a year except for you. Everyone else has moved on, and you can't just expect everyone to go back to a minor incident that happened over 2 years ago and try to rectify it somehow. The time for sharing your experience has passed, Rosanna, and it's been passed for a long time. I could have maybe understood you coming out about this a little bit after the video dropped, and that would have been reasonable, but what do you expect to get out of it now? MrBeast probably doesn't even remember too well what happened back then. Why are you trying to bring it up now, 2 years after the fact? So in regards to my second point, and in my opinion, this is the real kicker, how the turtleneck sweater does this matter to you this much? I legit feel like this is that Spongebob episode where the Krusty Krab had a commercial that came on at 3 a.m. and 10% of Spongebob was in the background of like 2 shots, and he all of a sudden thought day and night about it and thought it was the biggest deal and everyone knew and cared about it. You say that you have been mentally affected by this, experienced anguish over this, and now feel empowered that you have shared your traumatic story. But this whole time, the incident you are referring to is about a silly hide-and-seek video, and I'm supposed to believe that you have been mentally traumatized for years because you were edited out of winning 3rd place in a video? I'm sorry, bro. That's just goofy. That's absolutely ridiculous. Ludicrous, dude. The way I see it, there are 2 options here, and neither of them look good for you, Rosanna. Number 1, you actually genuinely had great mental stress for years, not days, not hours, not even weeks, but years, over not properly being rewarded for a hide-and-seek video, and so you're being truthful in your over-the-top statements about sharing your experience and your mental trauma and confidence because in your mind, it actually was that important to you. In that instance, you are the minority, and everyone else reasonably thinks that you are way overreacting to this insignificant moment that happened, may I remind everyone once again, over 2 years ago. And you have become the poster child for first world problems, because you really need to find more important things to be upset about. Or, option 2, you are lying about how much this affected you to pull the victim card and get tons of attention and support and clout by targeting and accusing a huge name like MrBeast. In this instance, you are maliciously creating a huge fuss over nothing just to ride the coattails of someone more successful than you, just to selfishly get more recognition and fame at the expense of someone else's reputation, which is absolutely deplorable. I'm not going to say which option is the truth, I honestly don't know, but I sincerely hope that it is the first one, because even if that means you are hypersensitive about a small thing that just does not really matter at all at this point and have been overstressing about something that is very clearly not worth it, at least you are not a bad person with malicious intents behind this whole thing. Rosanna, I understand why you were upset. I really do. But I think that even you have to admit that you were overreacting and blowing this incident way out of proportion. It honestly reminds me of a preschooler who thinks that the popular kid calling them a mean name is some kind of traumatic, life-changing superhero origin story moment. So please, I don't say this with hate or because I think MrBeast is perfect and uncriticizable, but please, if you are going to complain about this, keep in mind that you are a mature adult woman and treat this minor incident with the proper amount of emotion that it deserves, because it should not be weighing on your mental health to this extent. I honestly do not care about this whole thing, but I just found Rosanna's response to everything to be completely bloated and goofy, so I decided to chime in on this little controversy going on. Sorry it's a day late, but that's just because I have a life outside of YouTube. Unlike most commentary YouTubers, that was a joke. Sorry for any commentary YouTubers listening to this. Yeah, but I have a life. The Better Yourself challenge for today is to appreciate the fact that you are alive, because we are never guaranteed a day of life, and we should be thankful for every single one that we get. If you enjoyed the video, then please leave a like and subscribe, and help me get to my goal of 10,000 subs before the end of the year. I'll catch you all on the next one. Have a great day.